Now, away from that particular entrepreneur, let's turn attention to the headquarters of the government economist, Patrick Ba Abankwa, because he has actually expressed worry about the fast depreciation of the Ghana cedi. He says at this point in time where the cedi is actually depreciating, it is a matter of great concern to manufacturers and importers, especially as we are actually heading towards the Christmas festivity. He spoke to TV Africa via Zoom.
The cedi for the past 2 or 3 weeks for me has been very bad. But we need to find the root of the depreciation of the cedi. First of all, I think there has been so much speculation in the system, which is leading to some form of quantum depreciation as expected. We always have this perception that the latter part of the year, historically, shows that the cedi depreciates against the dollar by about 15% historically. But in the last quarter, starting about a month or so ago, the depreciation is more than 15%, getting to almost about 50%. So for me, this is something that we should really look at. And its impact on manufacturers and importers, for me, is very important. Because this is the time of the year that people import so much for the festivities. So if the rate is depreciating at this time over a period that is not seen so many years in our history, then it calls for an assessment by the central bank. And for me, the central bank should begin to, show some kind of action to be able to send a signal to those who are speculating, which is leading to the depreciation of the cedi. If an action is not taken, so I saw central bank going after the black market people, it's a signal, but it has to be sustained effort. Again, if you want to also halt the depreciation, then there should be a meeting or some kind of restriction for forest bureaus, because most of the rates that we see which causes panic in the system are from the forest bureaus. So what can we do to ensure that we are regulating what they do there? Are we just opening up for them to quote any rate that they are quoting because of the issue of demand and supply? So for me, these are the critical things Bank of Ghana should look at. Another thing they should also look at is how to manage the community around the depreciation of the cedi. You see a rate today, and by the time you are going to sleep, there's some kind of projection that is going to hit this particular rate, even when it's not up there yet. That is where Bank of Ghana should regulate that communication, so that by so doing, some calmness will be restored. I'm reliably informed that we are expecting some $750,000 to hit our account. How are we going to use that? Are we just going to push into the system for the same speculators to buy it, for the system to begin to cry for more dollars? Or we are going to ensure that these $750 are given to, for example, those who import oil, those who import the fuel, those who are importing things that are necessary for the festivities? For me, that is how we should begin to gear our efforts towards specific sectors, so that the depreciation will halt at some point. Maybe the support that we expect from maybe IMF will come through. Yeah, so I think that even though Bank of Ghana is not directly having some kind of regulation with the Forest Bureau, because what they do impact on the financial system, there should be some kind of concerted effort to rope them in times like this. Because for me, the speculations and the depreciation starts from the Forest Bureau. What has been their role in the selling of dollars? I know there are regulations on even how much dollar Forest Bureau can sell to one individual at some point in time. What has been the implementation of that rule? Are they just being allowed to do things on their own? For me, these are the critical issues we should be looking at. And where we are now, we are at a critical point that requires some kind of strict actions. This is not the time for us to take actions that will not yield immediate results. So if you are looking at solving this particular issue now, then we should begin to take strict action, like what we are seeing in Kenya and other countries